Greetings. This is Justin Allan, the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. Sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take the measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Amber, who is a family nurse practitioner. Currently, she is working full-time for a telemedicine practice where she manages registered nurse caseworkers. She started an integrated medicine clinic where she provides hormone replacement therapy, ketamine infusions, and aesthetics. She recently moved her practice to another location and is navigating the challenges associated with this. She's needing assistance with getting her new location up and running and also has some personal finance questions. Hey, Amber, how are you?
Hi, good, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for hopping on here. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been a nurse practitioner for, and what kind of things you've been, getting into.
Yeah, so I graduated with my DNP back in 2020, right when COVID hit. And so our clinicals got canceled towards the end there. I had a job lined up for urgent care and they canceled all of that. So I had to figure out what my next step was going to be. I am in the military, so I got to do a lot of the COVID response stuff initially. It was getting vaccines up and running for service members and civilians. And then went to find my little kind of favorite niche of what I wanted to do. I landed a job at a med spa where I started their functional medicine program. And then once I kind of saw overhead and how things were operating, I felt maybe I could do this on my own, as kind of I think most MPs are starting to figure out easily. So I branched off of there. I had a non-compete for 18 months, which was up in December. But my practice that I started was basically, honestly, to take care of kind of friends and family, get a bunch of referrals on the side, and just do hormones initially. So I did that for a little while. And then I decided to up and move to a new state. So I'm trying to get everything up and running to be really a full-born operation in my new location.
Gotcha. Okay. So is your goal to be like working at your own practice full time and leave your job, or you want to just juggle both for a little bit?
I would prefer to juggle both. I mean, I make fairly good money doing the teleworking thing for now. Um, I mostly do hormone pellets, and so that requires me to be in person. So I go back to see my patients in Idaho. I do as many of them as I can, which isn't a ton, I think maybe about 20 or so, um, that I've collected over the last year just from not advertising or being able to do anything with a non-compete really. My goal is to kind of get rid of the Idaho practice, I guess, my initial location, and keep the teleworking job that I have now until I can get the full, like the clinic up and running entirely in the
Okay.
new spot.
Okay. So first concern I have is how many clients do you have at the other practice that you basically, you moved states and you left the practice that you
Mhm.
started. So like in that practice that you left and basically closed, um, how many clients do you still have?
I would say I probably have 20, 25 patients there solidly
Oh,
that I see.
yeah. So not that much, right? Well, I mean,
It's not 10.
No, but listen, you have a license there. Like, you
Hmm.
can continue seeing these people via telemedicine and prescribing hormone creams and injections and stuff. Like,
True.
why not? I mean, it's 25 people, it's generating what, a few $1,000s a month for you?
I average, yeah, I would say after my cost of everything, those patients usually bring me in about 20,000 a year, free and
20,000 a
clear.
year. Right, 20,000 a
Yeah.
year, right? So you're talking about a couple $1,000s a month basically for
Yeah.
how much work?
Not much. I mean, going
Not
there, I just do their pellets really because they're all my patients that are on the maintenance scale. And so it's not a lot of work with them.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So anyways, so I would, just keep those patients for as long as you possibly can.
Yeah.
If you can grow that into some sort of little telemedicine side thing and they refer people to you and you don't necessarily have to go there to do pellets, you can just prescribe them
Take them
injections or
over.
creams or
Hmm.
something. Exactly. Like I'd maintain that as long as you can. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, though, so you're wanting to scale this practice to be a little bit more full time and you want to maintain your job. So I'm sitting here thinking about like time restraints. So how
Sure.
much how much how much time does your job take? About
My full-time teleworking job, I would say maybe 8 hours a week. So I have had a lot of time
so
to
not that
work
okay.
on business operations, which has been lovely.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Okay. So my first piece of advice for you is milk that, milk that as
Keep
long
it
as
as
you
long as I
can.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Milk that shit for as long as you can. I would. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So you're gonna keep doing that. Why wouldn't you?
Why
Um,
not? Good
why?
opportunity.
Why not? Exactly. So okay. So you basically have 30 hours plus to focus in on your business then, if you wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you moved locations. So you've said right before we hopped on the call that you were just kind of having some struggles and issues with this. So I guess walk me through what you really need some help with.
Sure. So, so far where I'm at is I haven't seen patients yet. I have a location to where I can do pellets in person. I don't have to sign a lease. It's $50 anytime that I need to use it. It's a nice professional space, a shared space with an esthetician. So it works great for pelleting. So that's an easy kind of option for a location for now, just so I can get my address on a Google map somewhere local. Um, and I'm thankful enough it's in a location where there's nobody that really does what I do in that area. So that is very helpful. But I know a lot of people in the area are doing, urology clinics and pain specialists and OB-GYNs are kind of dibbling in this, but no one really solely focuses on it. So that's where I thought maybe I'd have some success, especially in this area. Um, I spend a lot of time doing the admin stuff, which I think is probably the most common complaint, getting in touch with the vendors and the pharmacies, setting up all of the agreements. I have a background in technology. So I've been building my own website, which is a very much a time sucker, but I want it to be pretty solid. I have some forms, patient forms, and I got an EHR that I'm setting up. So it's all these little things that just take so much time when I obviously would prefer to be taking care of patients, but I just can't afford to bring someone on board yet to help with all of that. So I think the biggest thing is kind of where I should set my priorities at and really just start bringing money in the door. I think a lot of my concern is I've had, fellow PAs and NPs kind of put the fear in me of, well, if you don't have a standard operating procedure, if you don't have policies in place for, how you do practice and how you treat, then there's a huge liability there. So I think
Oh,
it's a little bit of fear of that I haven't really just, I'm like, everything needs to be in place before I go.
okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's a bunch of bullshit. Okay. It
Okay.
is. I mean, come guys, you do not need standard operating procedures and policies and procedures to get the door open and start seeing some patients. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Okay.
I still really don't have standard operating procedures or policies and procedures.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I
That's kind of a
don't.
relief, actually.
Like, okay, who's gonna come look at that? Who?
Yeah,
Tell me,
I
please,
don't know.
because I've never had
Great
anyone ask.
question.
Okay. Like, sure. Okay. Someone could potentially ask for them if there was some sort of big liability issue that hit your
Sure.
practice. Okay.
Mhm. That's what
Sure.
I don't want.
Sure. A patient dies because they went into anaphylactic shock and you weren't there when someone was giving them an injection, and the person who was there didn't know what to do. They're going to ask, where was your standard operating procedure for an anaphylactic reaction? Okay. Well, first and foremost, if you have an RN working there for you or something like that, they should know what to do, right?
Mhm.
So, or if you're doing such low liability things, like, most of this stuff is low liability, like hormone replacement therapy, weight loss, this stuff, like, what's the worst that's going to happen overall, right? Like, not really that much stuff. So
Sure. Yeah.
in my opinion, if you operate your practice safely and you don't do a bunch of dumb things, okay, don't stress out about it. Okay.
Okay.
A standard operating procedure, policies or procedures are meant for you and they are meant for others to follow as you scale and grow your business. Okay.
Okay.
If it's
Mhm.
just going to be you for the most part for a while, why do you need a standing operating procedure? So you can
Great
go,
question.
like, tell me why. Tell me why. Because you're the one operating the bit. What you have to go open a folder up and take a look on how to do something? Like, come on.
No, it's in our brain. We know how to do
In
it.
your
We're trained for
brain.
this.
Right. You don't need it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is something so what you do. So policies and procedures and standard operating procedures.
Mhm.
Okay. Basically, this is something that you just kind of make yourself as time goes on. Okay.
Okay.
I have a very, very basic standard operating procedure for my men's health clinic. Okay. I did
Sure.
not have it when I first opened, and it took me multiple years to write that thing out. Basically, what it is, when this happens, do this. When that happens, do this. Me and my
Right.
practice manager just wrote this thing up over a couple years. All right.
Okay.
It looks like shit. It's just a bunch of stuff typed out. I mean,
Right.
it's really not all that organized, but I have something there just in case. I don't know who the hell would ever want to ask for it, but it's there just in case. I have it
Right.
there mostly because
Case you need that.
I have multiple nurse practitioners and I have multiple staff that need to know how to do certain things, right?
Okay. Yep.
Right? Right. Like the nurse practitioners that I hire,
Especially if you're not there.
especially if I'm not there, exactly. So if nurse practitioners, I hire a nurse practitioner, this is how I want you to treat men. This is my procedure on testosterone replacement therapy. This is when you prescribe HCG. This is when, this is what you do when the hematocrit's over 54. Like it's just a basic set of rules, right? That's
Mhm.
it. That's it. Like
Okay.
that's literally it. And worst case, worst case, something happens and some regulator or something is asking for your operating procedure because they need to review it or the insurance company or something. Yeah, fucking write one up real quick.
Perfect. I
Come
like it.
on. Like, come on. Why wouldn't you? Like,
Yeah.
are you a fool? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
don't stress out about it. Okay. But
Okay.
I'm gonna get off my soapbox about that. Okay.
That's fair. That's helpful. One
Yeah,
less
yeah.
thing I have to do as far as all
Yeah.
those legality and admin tasks and stuff. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like, don't like so many people get stuck on this and have analysis paralysis over it. Like,
Definitely.
you need to focus on getting patients in the door and start
Okay.
generating some income. That's what you need to focus on.
Mhm.
That's your goal. That's your job as the business owner. Sure,
Okay.
your job as a clinician is to treat patients safely and effectively. Sure,
Right.
that's first and foremost. As a
Yep.
clinician, as a business owner, your first priority is to get patients in the door to begin making money. Okay.
Okay.
That's what you focus
All
on
right.
as a business owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
Okay.
social media. The website's almost done. It just has a brief overview of these are the services that I offer. I've started kind of dibbling in, memberships. I feel like that passive income would be everything. I've listened to a bunch of your podcasts and pricing and whatnot, and I think I've got it all nailed down in that aspect. But um, it is. I just feel like there's so many little administrative business ownership things that are preventing me from just figuring out how to treat patients and go for it.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
Bring them in the
So
door.
gotcha. Right. 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 Oh yeah. No. Listen, you can get stuck on a bunch of things. Like there's still stuff on my to-do list for my men's health practice that I opened 5 years ago.
Fair enough.
I
Yeah.
haven't done it. It's not that important to me because taxes are being paid, money's coming in, patients are being treated safely. Like everything else is
Yeah.
just it's noise, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you need to have done to begin seeing patients? So, ask yourself this. Like, what do I need to have done to begin like treating patients and charging them money? So what things do you need? You need a payment processor, obviously, right? You need a way to swipe a credit card,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
You
Check.
need, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you need a bank account, right? You need a place to put the money,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
right? Check. You need an EMR of some sort. I mean, you don't need an EMR. You can do paper charts if you want to, you know.
Yeah, I just got a new one. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's Hint Health. Actually, it's decent. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they
Well,
do all of the payment and they set up membership. So
okay.
tried that
Well
one out
then,
so far.
okay, great. So if it works, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, you know. It's basically whatever the EMR that you like that just tends to click in your brain. That's the EMR you use, right? I've been using Simple Practice for 5 years now, and we're not going to use another one because you know what? It works.
Sure.
Like,
I
like
mean,
what's a new EMR going to do for me? It's not going to do anything for me, right? It's
no,
not going to
it's
really
some
make
basic
me
features.
exactly basic features,
Yeah.
right? Right. You
Yeah.
have your consent forms that patients sign to protect you legally. Yes,
Yes. Yep.
right.
Done.
Done. Okay. Okay. You have malpractice insurance, right?
Yes. Check.
Okay, you have that. So from a legal standpoint, it sounds like you got just about everything that you need. You have your LLC, you have your basic
hmm
business structure, you have a bank
Yep.
account, you have malpractice, you have consents and intake forms that patients sign to protect you.
Yes.
You're okay.
hmm
Legal stuff's pretty much done unless your state requires some sort of stupid health inspection or whatever from the Department of Health. But like, if a
Nope.
quick okay, if a quick Google search doesn't result in an answer, then don't worry about it. if
Good to
if
go.
yeah, if for some reason you were operating without some sort of stupid inspection from the health department or whatever, what's the worst case that's going to happen? They're going to come to your practice and say, "Oh, you need to have this. Better get it
Yeah.
done in
Fix
the
this.
next week, or we're going to close you down." Right? Okay, it's a slap on the hand, right? You're not going to
Yeah.
jail. Okay,
hmm
yeah. So okay, so you have all that stuff. You have a way to collect payment. You have a bank account. So do you have accounts with pharmacies and medical suppliers to get supplies and medications?
I do. I just finished that up about 2 weeks or so ago, and then I took those prices and then figured out which one I wanted to use for coming up with membership, so I have accurate pricing. So that's about solid now.
Okay, so your pricing structure is basically set up because you need a way to charge patients, right? You need to know
Yes.
what you're going to charge them. Okay, so you have that. Let's see here. So what about? I mean, I guess you need to start doing some stuff to get some patients in the door, right? So like your
I guess
website,
that's the biggest one. Yeah, the
right?
website. I mean, the website looks good. I obviously worked super hard on. I'm figuring out all the SEO stuff on my own. Some of that's just going to take a little bit of time. I'm not sure if it's worth
Yeah.
investing money in that, but
No, I don't
it's
think it is. I mean, if you're kind of tech savvy, you can figure it out yourself. I mean, the biggest thing is
yeah,
just to have content on your website so search engines
yeah,
find you. That's the big thing. So just,
yeah.
write an article once or twice a week and just pop it in there, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I don't have social media. I
no,
don't know if that's something I need to kind of gain
uh,
for traction for patients. Is it worth it?
I think it's worth the hour or two that it takes to set up for.
Okay.
You create a Facebook page, you create an Instagram. Every time you post an article on your website, you make sure to post it on there as well. If you're having any
Okay.
kind of specials, just make a quick Facebook post, Instagram post. The whole thing is that it just increases your SEO overall because when someone looks up your clinic or looks up HRT in your town or whatever, you want your website to pop up, but also if your Facebook page is popping up and your Instagram page is popping up, even better. And a lot of people
Okay.
also search for this stuff on their Facebook and whatnot. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Just set it up. It doesn't have to be amazing. You don't have to pay someone to do this. Just get something up there. It doesn't really
Okay.
matter. As long as it doesn't look like complete trash and it doesn't look like a scam, you're good.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Easy.
Google business listing. You got that?
Yes, I finished setting that up with the location.
Okay.
So
You
you
got
can
your
find me on there.
okay, you got your phone number, you got your phone.
Yep. And all the texts come through the EHR so it can get linked to a chart, which is nice.
Okay, so what's the problem here? You're ready to go.
I I guess so. I just new location. I don't really know anybody, so I'm just hanging out here.
Yeah,
Figuring out how to get patients and making sure everything's ready and in place to start seeing patients. I guess it's
sure.
almost that you've been prepping for, I've been here since July. So been prepping
You're
since July and I had one patient contact me last week for labs to get started and that'll be the first one. But mostly I keep up and running for my patients back at home. Those 20 patients have been my little test dummies for EHRs and forums and all that stuff. So
yeah.
um,
Okay.
Really, it's just how do I get patients in a new city
Sure. Okay. So you're
without
pretty much
breaking the bank?
gotcha. All right. So yeah, your practice is everything is set up. Everything is good to go. You just need patience at this point. Like
Yeah.
it's set up. It's ready to rock and roll. You're good to go. So yeah, your Google business listing is really your first. I mean, it's the cheapest, it's the easiest thing to set up and optimize, right? You need to get as many reviews on there as you possibly can. The
Okay.
patients that you have in Idaho, have them write a review on your current Google business listing.
Okay.
That's
Mhm.
not cheating. You've seen those patients,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Just
For
have
years, for a couple years now. Yeah.
for a couple of years. If you treat any family or friends, have them post a review too. Why not?
Okay.
Okay. So get
Mhm.
as many reviews as you possibly can because all that really does is it just makes you more credible. People see your
Sure.
clinic and they're like, okay, this is for real, right? Like
Right.
your goal is to get as many reviews as you possibly can on your Google business listing, your Facebook page, etc. People need to
Okay.
know that you are for real and what you do is real, right?
Mhm.
So you do those things, you're good. Okay, that's the first line. People who are searching for hormone replacement therapy, ketamine, etc., they're searching for this. So you need to make sure you come up, right?
Okay. Yep.
Now, in terms of paying, sometimes you got to pay a little bit for some marketing, and you just got to go get the word out, right? All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all elite nurse practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and that other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode. So, first off, do you have any competition?
There are competition, but it's kind of more in the med spa turf than more of like a medical side of things.
Okay,
There's
but there's
lots of weight loss around here. There's lots of, HRT, um, but there's not like a not like the niche of the pellets, even though I'm not really sure that I want to keep doing the pellets if I can telework.
yeah, that's the thing about pellets, right? Like it's kind of
It's more maintenance.
yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I really I don't do them. I did them a little bit here and there. I don't fool with it anymore. It's not worth it. Um Patience. I mean, come on, come on, what's easier, putting some pellets in someone or giving someone a prescription for, an injection or a cream, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah, so
should.
stay away from it. Have it
Okay.
as an offering though, okay, but don't make it your initial choice. Like try to get people on
Okay.
creams as soon as possible.
Okay.
But there are going to be some
That's
people who
easy.
just yeah. There are going to be some people who want to be on pellets though. So if you have it as an option, great, right?
Mhm.
Um yeah. So okay, so if there's not a whole lot of competition in your area, then people are looking for these services. So there's a need, there's a demand for this everywhere. How big? I guess how big's the city you're in? What's the population like in your area?
Okay, for correction, I live in I live on the outskirts of Las Vegas, Nevada. So there are lots of, hormones and weight loss and whatnot. Ketamine's not as popular here. But the pellets was what I've normally done the last 3 or 4 years. There's not a lot of people that do pellets in that area. So the geographic location that I picked for the Google business, as far as the address goes, there's no pellet people around me there. So it's kind
Okay.
of the southwestern part of the state, which is great.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I
So
figured. But that doesn't work if you're doing TRT as far as injections go. I'm sure there's plenty of them around here.
right. So your Google business listing then needs to say hormone replacement therapy in it if that's what you really want to focus
Okay.
on. Okay. The name of your practice and then hyphen colon whatever, hormone replacement therapy clinic or
Okay. I
something.
do have
Like,
hormones in the name. Yes.
okay, good. So people should be finding you there if they're searching for it. I mean, and people are. I mean, men and women, they're looking for a local provider for hormone replacement therapy. They just are.
Yeah. hmm
They are. I mean, most people would much prefer to see someone local than some monster corporate telemedicine practice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Um, a billboard in the area oftentimes will do really well to get some patients through the door. It's something I
Okay.
would only recommend for just, 2 or 3 months. Don't do it more, much more than that unless it's working really well, you know.
Okay.
Um, and I think that one thing you're going to need to do is just figure out where your patients are. Like, where are you going to be able to market where your patients are? And like, these niche wellness clinics, marketing in places where these people are work great. Like, gyms, right? I mean, a lot of these people are working
Sure.
out and they want to maintain their physicality as they get older. You know,
Yeah. I thought about doing like lunch and learns. There's a million and one golf courses around here. So just doing lunch and learns with, people golfing for the day when the weather
and
gets better.
you
That'll
definitely
bring in
could
a lot of male clients for TRT potentially.
potentially, yeah. Um, yeah, advertising in at golf courses tends to be real hit or miss.
Okay. Good to
It
know.
works, yeah, like it works really well for some people. And for some people, it's a complete dud, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of keep that in mind. There's a lot of
Okay.
marketing agencies out there too that have established relationships with lots of businesses, and they'll post your ads in like bathrooms or at the on the windows of these businesses, like, so like you're thinking like barber shops and bars and restaurants and gyms, etc., right? So if you
Okay.
can so if you can find one of those marketing agencies, a lot of times it's called like all aboards or something. I mean, I've used two different companies and they had all aboards in their name. I don't know if that's just the category of it or what, but it's basically you're
Okay.
advertising directly in businesses in your area. And they have relationships with lots and lots and lots of businesses. So they kind of know where your target demographic's hanging out. And
Okay.
so this
Okay.
could cost $1,000 a month or whatever, but they put 50, 60 ads out there in multiple places. So like my men's health clinic, it's advertised in restaurants and bars and gyms and barber shops. I mean, it's all over the place. I
Okay.
get patients from that, and I get lots of patients from it. It's
Okay.
pretty much the only paid advertising I am doing at this point.
That's good to know. I can look into that for the area.
Yeah, it
Okay.
works. Yeah.
Let's really expand that. Okay.
Yeah, so I think you're gonna have to just accept the fact that you're gonna need to pay a little bit of money
Sure.
and get out there and get the word out there. I think you're gonna need to just say, okay, here's $5,000 I have. Let's spend this over the next couple months and let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay,
You
you
think
can
I'm working on
advert,
there?
yeah, like digital marketing. Advertising on Facebook can work in some places. The trick with advertising on Facebook or Instagram is that you need to make sure that you have your target demographic, your target market
Yeah.
very, very, very specific. You just don't want to advertise to women between the ages of 45 and 65 in your area. That's not specific enough. Okay.
Okay.
So when you create a Facebook ad, you'll be able to select demographics.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So you need to think, who is my patient?
Yeah.
That's who
Yeah.
you advertise to, right? And Google search ads always work great. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, no need to complicate it. Google search ads work just fine. So
Okay.
I think that's where I would start and just try to get out there and get the word out. I think you're gonna have to just get all dolled up and go out with some flyers and some brochures or whatever, and just try to get out there and get the word out.
Okay. Do you think I'm offering too many services to start? I know I've heard that in a couple different podcasts. I mean, I really do mostly hormones for menopausal women and for males via pellets. I haven't really done a lot of the shots before. Um,
Yeah.
of course, friends all want the weight loss. So I've done that plenty. And then I've done ketamine lozenges for a little while now for patients.
Um,
I don't want to like spread myself too thin with the different things if it's going to all kind of crumble just to
right.
get people in the door.
Well, I mean, you kind of have a wellness practice, integrated practice kind of a thing, So
Yeah.
like, you add ketamine to it, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense with it. It doesn't seem to really complement it very well.
Sure.
But
More on the mental health side of things since it
it,
So
Yeah,
one of the reasons I picked up TRT was a good kind of natural way, especially to help with anxiety, depression, the mental health side of things. So that's kind of why I ended up throwing in ketamine in there too as an adjunctive for some of that stuff. So I try not to dibble a whole lot in the mental health world, but um, trying to help that overall just quality of life for patients, I guess, is a big thing.
sure. Okay. Have have a page of it on your website.
Sure.
Why not?
Okay.
Like you can go around to maybe I don't know, some mental health clinics in your area or some uh uh pain management clinics, those kinds of things, and say, hey, we do offer ketamine, et cetera. You try to get the word out that way, but I don't think I would focus tremendously on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there
It
one you think would be better than the other as far as TRT versus weight loss? And I'm hooked
uh,
up with semaglutide with a bunch of pharmacies already, but
I think that I think they both complement each other very well. I think it's
okay.
foolish. I think it's foolish not to be offering both.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think anyone out there that's offering weight loss or hormone replacement therapy needs to be offering the other.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that if you focus more on the HRT, the weight loss, maybe like a little functional medicine or something like that, I think that's pretty much all you'd really need. Sure, have some
Okay.
ketamine there, why not? But
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it your focus.
Okay. And coming from obviously it's everything's cash pay, but coming from doing pellets where they pay, for their pellet insertion, um, wanting to switch more to get more passive income. I know a lot of TRT programs, they do monthly, the same with the weight loss. I'm just not entirely used to that. I think I have a pay structure for it, but I mean, how do you kind of market and make that your patient's only option, if that makes sense?
The membership
Yeah, like this is just what we do.
that you just
Um,
you don't give them an option. Like that's
Okay.
yeah, you just don't give
You
them the
just
option.
present it that way. Okay.
Right. Be like, this is a membership subscription program. We charge this every month, and included in this monthly charge is, it's the visits, it's the
Mhm.
supplies, it's the medication. Labs can be included in that if you want, or you can charge separately for them or let the patients use their insurance.
Okay.
That's totally up to you. I
Okay.
personally charge separately for labs or let patients use their
Yeah.
insurance. Um, and then that's it. I mean, you know,
Okay.
how often do I get pushback on that? Very, very rarely.
Okay. It's just it is
Yeah.
what it is.
And if the patient's
That's
pushing
okay.
back on it, they're probably gonna be a pain in the ass patient anyways that I don't want to see.
That's fair. That's a very
Yeah.
good point. Low maintenance is preferable.
Right. I want low maintenance patients. I don't want high maintenance
Yeah.
patients, you know?
Yeah.
No, like this is your business. You can decide on who you want to see and who you don't want to see, you know?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
So um so yeah, any other questions?
I guess on the finance side, I mean, so far with businesses and switching states, I would say obviously 20 patients isn't enough to necessarily break even yet. I know sometimes it takes a while to break even, but then on the podcast, I've heard lots of success stories of people just going for it and making bank right away. I'm probably business wise after having to set everything up, kind of restarting in another state in the whole about 20 grand. So ideally, I would like that to change sooner than later. But any tips on that? I mean, I live decently lean, obviously paying off student loans and whatnot. But
So okay,
yeah,
so
just
how
supporting.
much so you're $20,000 in the hole on your business?
Yes, so far. Part of
Okay.
that is I started with some aesthetics too. So and they hook you on getting product and all that jazz up front.
Yeah. Yeah, aesthetics can be it can
Yes,
be kind of a
it's a little rough.
yeah, it can kind of a rip off.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Anyways, though, is this on credit cards or did you take a business loan out?
So I did. I put it on. I have used up some of my savings, and then I put the rest kind of on credit cards. Like Southwest gets some miles out of it. So
Yeah, sure. Why not?
interest rates actually not bad at all. So it's not charging me a ton. But obviously I want to pay that off sooner than later.
What's your
And then
interest
there's
rate on it?
I actually have 6% on it, which
Oh,
is
well,
nice. So
that's not
so
bad.
I'll keep that. Yeah. But I want to get out of debt. My other personal debt is significantly high. I would say with student loans and credit cards, it's probably looking at 120,000. So
Ooh, yeah, okay.
that's the not great part. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you got to look at this strategically. So your student loan debt is a low liability debt that you can put on deferment pretty easy without much penalty at all, if any,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
Um, did you, with you being in the military, you weren't able to get this stuff forgiven or paid off or?
No, the military paid for my undergrad. And then when it came to grad school, they said, we'll either pay for your master's as an NP, pay for a PA, but we won't pay for a DNP. And I was already, it's local, it was cheaper, and I was already ready to go for the program. So
Oh hell,
that's
that's
the route I
stupid.
went. So I took the hit, but that's okay. I figured
Yeah,
I'd make up for it someday. So here we are,
yeah,
trying to make up for it.
yeah, yeah. It is what it is. So,
Yeah,
so debt pay down, you go at it objectively and strategically. So usually you start with the highest interest debt, right, and then pay it off.
sure.
That's normally what you do. But in the case of student loans, that's one of those ones that I'd probably pay it off last in your situation here,
Sure.
because credit cards can be very high interest. So your personal credit cards, what kind of interest rates are you paying on those?
Variable, anywhere from same 6 up to like 18,
Y-
19% on some of those.
Yeah, well, those 18, 19% would you pay off first and
Yeah.
foremost, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So in your case, I would focus on the highest interest debt first on your credit cards, right?
Mhm.
And then eventually pay off all your credit cards and then begin really focusing on that student loan debt.
Sure.
Yeah, if it was me in your shoes, I would ask if I could get my student loan maybe on like some sort of deferment or something for like 3 to 6 months
Okay.
and use that money to pay off those credit cards.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay that shit off. So
I know it's gotta go.
gotta go. Yeah. How much money do you have on a monthly basis um that you could allocate to paying off debt? Like let's say once everything is paid and done. Now let's say let's say you skip investing any money for the time being. Like skip your
Sure.
401k, skip any IRA,
Okay.
skip that stuff for the time being, okay? Just put
Okay.
it on hold for a little while. It's not going to hurt, all right? So you put all that stuff on hold. How much money do you got a month to use to pay your debt off?
I would probably say I'd have an extra somewhere around like maybe 800 or so after
About eight-
skipping all that.
about $800. Okay.
Yeah. And that's not
Yeah.
including, the patient income, but that's one of those things I'm not entirely sure on how do you pay yourself for some of that. Obviously, when you're in the hole on your business stuff initially, that all can go back towards that and you don't have to pay anything on it. But
So how much okay, wait. So how much do you have in your business bank account right now?
I keep $1,000 in there as my baseline just to cover any business expenses for the EHR and
So
any
what
medications from compound pharmacies that come through
okay,
labs.
so where's the money been going in there?
Money's been going back to the credit card to pay for the purchases. So, like, if I order labs for a patient, or pharmacy compounding stuff, it gets charged to me directly. I charge the patient, and so they charge me on the credit card, and then my patient income that I charge them that goes back onto the credit card.
Well, I thought you were making like $2,000 a month profit.
With patients, it varies. That's on average, yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
usually include that in the extra that I pay, like for my personal cards, but
Gotcha. So if it was me and I want to get out of that business debt as fast as I possibly could, every single dollar I made in that business, I'd be throwing at that credit card and paying that off as
yeah,
fast as possible.
yeah,
Yeah. So you have to just kind of, I mean, and that all should be a business write-off. So basically all the money that you're making is going to be a total write-off.
yeah.
So
Has been so far.
yeah, yeah. So I'd pay that off as fast as you possibly can. I mean, in terms of paying yourself out of your business, um, you basically just take the money out of your account and put it in your personal account and call it an owner's draw, but you're gonna have to pay taxes on it at the end of the year. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to pay your personal income tax on that. So
Yeah.
30% or whatever it is. Yeah. If you go to the Elite MP website, click on all articles and search for S Corp, you can go that route when you start making some money.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
just read that article. Just look up S Corp and You can read that article, and you sound like a smart girl. You should be able to figure it out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just read that article.
Okay.
But you don't have to worry about that for a little while. Don't worry about that. You actually start making some money. Okay.
Okay.
I'd say
Mhm.
like $50,000 a year. Okay.
Okay. That's
Profit.
not-
Profit.
Okay.
Okay. Um, but anyways, though, yeah. Are there any opportunities to maybe work some other places? Like, I don't think you need to dedicate 30 hours a week to your business right now. I mean, for you to be working 30 hours a week in a practice like this, like a hormone replacement therapy practice or something, um, yeah, you'd have to have a lot of patience,
Yes.
like 1,000 patients or something. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah. You're not going to get there anytime soon. It's probably going to take a little while, a year or two.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, is there an opportunity for you to maybe just say, let's go pick up a job somewhere else? And so that way, your practice, you say, I see patients at my practice on Thursdays and Fridays only. I do
Hmm.
the work for my full-time job whenever. So this one day or this 2 days a week, I'm going to go pick up some shifts at an urgent care or whatever, make some extra bucks, and then I can use that money to pay off my debt.
Yeah, and I try to pick up kind of like an IV, like a PRN IV job for, I mean, honestly, for hangovers and stuff, especially in this area. Some concierge services, and then I do ketamine with them as well. So that's starting to trickle in. They're starting their marketing and advertising for that. So I'm starting to see more of that, which is good. And that's all through teleworking, basically. So
Okay,
that's been
good.
helpful, but that money's starting to trickle in a little bit. I just haven't budgeted for that because I can't guarantee it quite yet.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, maybe look for something that's a little bit more guaranteed.
Okay.
The reason I was able to get out of debt so fast personally was because I was still maintaining a lot of employment while my businesses
Sure.
were growing. Yeah.
Sure.
If I was just relying on employment salary or just the money from my businesses, it would have took me twice as long to pay off my debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I continued to work. I mean, it was a lot of work. It sucked, but you got to kind of do that sometimes.
Yeah. Get out of it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I hope that was helpful. Any other questions about?
I don't think so. I think the biggest thing is I mean, it sounds like I just need to get out there and start finding patients, really.
Pretty much. That's really what it comes down to. So
Okay.
I'd say if you can set aside a few $1,000, try to get some patients in the door. That's kind of where I'd probably focus my energy on and try to stay out of debt for that. Like I would just say maybe the next month or two, save that money up on the side and then be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna
Okay.
use.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Don't put that on credit card and just get that debt even more, more and more and
Yeah.
more.
Good
Yeah, try
old
to
consumerism.
yeah, yeah, it sucks you in. It's
Sometimes it
hard.
gets us. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
definitely
it's
does.
hard to get out. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
well, cool. Well, do you have any other questions?
I don't think so. I think that's the biggest thing is making sure I'm just set up and how to get people in the door in a new city.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much how you do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's really not that hard, but there's really no super easy way to do it.
No,
You
there's
just gotta
not.
get the word out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
um well,
Sounds good.
cool. Well, I like to end the episodes with you asking me a question. So personal question or a curiosity, something like that.
Sure. What did you actually want to be when you grew up? It wasn't a nurse, was it? Where did it come from?
No, it wasn't a nurse.
Oh,
I don't know if it's ever been a nurse, to be honest with you.
that's
Uh,
fair. That's fair.
yeah, it was kind of just it was a job. It was kind of an opportunity, and I was like,
Yeah.
this doesn't sound that bad. But actually, I wanted to be a paleontologist. Like I wanted to go take
Oh,
the dinosaur bones. Like I still,
nice.
yeah, like I were an archaeologist, and like I still want to go do that stuff.
It's not too late. If you retire early, it's never too late.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought about it. I do it like as a hobby. I go out and like walk around the desert or whatever and try to find some fossils or
Sure.
some arrowheads or something. But yeah.
Nice.
So,
There's a
well,
lot of
listen.
bodies in Nevada, so
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But yeah. Anyways, well, listen. I appreciate your time, and
thank you so much.
you're welcome. Reach out to me if you ever want to do a follow up.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Go. Awesome. Thanks. All right. Hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Amber. Lots of really good information there. I mean, we basically just hit the checklist of starting a business with her. I mean, she had everything up and ready. She just needed to market and get some patients in the door. So the most important part, guys, is just get some people in the door. Get out of your head. You don't need all of this stuff. Like, why are you gonna spend dozens and dozens and dozens of hours on a standard operating procedure, policies and procedures for it to just sit on a shelf? Like, you don't even have any patience to justify it, you know? So don't stress out. Don't worry about little things like that. Your goal as a business owner is to get patients in the door and to make money. Your job as a clinician is to provide safe care, right? Those are your two objectives. Everything else is noise. All right, hope everyone enjoys this episode. Talk to you guys later. Thanks, bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.